Lowtown in Madripoor City. This is supposed to be the good stuff? Smells like a wet campfire. That is the best Islay single malt you can get, Patch, or at least the best you can get here in the Princess Bar. If I have to drown my sorrows over my failing air freight business, it might as well be with the primo stuff. Turn up the discretion knob, Archie. Tiger, the silent partner in this fine establishment, just strolled in. Good evening, Patch. The Prince here would like to discuss a proposition with you. There is something suspicious going on in the mountain reserves, and I would like Mr. Patch's assessment. I am willing to hire Mr. Corrigan to fly him up there, of course. Not remotely interested. I would be inclined to look more favourably on my new business dealings with Tiger if you were to agree. I would also be willing to pay triple Archie's going rate to fly there. Man, that triple rate would go a long way towards paying off the creditors. Money talks, nobody walks. Looks like I'm doing an aerial recon. Very sweet and considerate of you, Patch. Yeah, I hope this deal is worth it, darling. Woohoo! Corrigan Air Freight stays afloat for another week. Let's not make this a habit. The next day. Funny how none of this looks this vast on a map. It's like an ocean of green and we're searching for a single minnow. Whatever the Prince thinks is suspicious is probably in a clearing. Not much you can do in the thick of a triple canopy other than sweat and swat bugs. What's that down there? That's not indigenous construction. Looks like some sort of research facility. It's a shed. How does that look like a research facility? Might be worth scoping out, but it looks deserted. Stay out of sight and keep calm. I saw a glint of metal over that ridge. Let's have a reconnoiter and see anything. I don't see anything, Patch, but my visual acuity is got nothing on yours. There, that's where I saw the glint. Got eyes on it. Looks like to be a crashed aircraft. Soviet markings. And it's not a familiar model. Some sort of experimental VTOL, maybe. That's cool looking. Looks like a Quinjet. Been there a good long while too. Uh-oh, something big just blocked out the sunlight overhead. And nothing in the sky much bigger than a shield helicarrier. I like that they got the old design of the shield helicarrier back. They're scrambling some fast movers to give us the old hairy eyeball. They seem to be inviting us aboard for a chat. It's not really an invitation if the alternative is getting shot down in flames. True dat. Hang on, this should be interesting without a cresta hook. No sweat, Archie. They did turn into the wind. I'm not what you would call a happy camper, Logan. They call me Patch around here, Colonel Fury. I don't care what you're calling yourself, Little Miss Sunshine. You are poaching my bailiwick, and that's not gonna fly. That's such like that bailiwick. That's such a Nick Fury word. Shield has got a covert surveillance in prog there. Nobody does covert surveillance with something as big as a helicarrier, bub. You're here to bring a world of hurt to somebody with mondo overkill firepower on my turf. You're lucky I don't clap you in the brig and dump your pal's obsolete tail dragger off the fantail. Now clear out and keep your nose out of my beeswax. Well, that went well. Not. Let's take the low road back, circle back around to where we saw that wreck and get down to the treetop level. You don't understand that if they unleash less than 1% of their firepower on us, we will be reduced to aluminum particles and fine red mist. Just keep the right side facing the helicarrier and we should be Jake. What are you? See you back at the Princess Bar. The single malts will be on me. And Logan, of course, falls like only Logan can, which is very hard and fast, not caring about his body. Hell of a way to deplane, but it keeps me off the shield radar. The adamantium bones don't break, so just a few minor repairs and I should be hunky-dory. That old mutant healing factor could sure do with a feel no pain factor, but hey, it all makes us stronger, right? Once I get my bearings, I can get my way back to that clearing with the crashed Russian aircraft. That's Patch, that insufferable layabout who keeps a bar stool warm at the Princess. But how'd he get down here? And I don't see a parachute, and there's no place where that DC-3 could have landed. Why is he always poking his big nose into business that isn't his? It's a good question. I like this is obviously written by Larry Hama. I like that there is like a G.I. Joe kind of feel to this. It's kind of hard to explain, but there's like a G.I. Joe feel to it. Well, he made a big mistake wandering alone out there in the bush where my mercenary army can exterminate his miserable existence. One of the scouts is coming in from the patrol General Coy. Caught this hill rat sneaking around up near the trail that leads to the Rusky hunting ground. Go ahead, tell the general what you are up to. I don't know anything. I was spying on the foreigners who are there stealing all of the little people of the jungle. Stealing monkeys? Who in their right mind would do that? You just want the reward like everybody else. Bang. Thank you, Rainbow Wolves, for the subscription. Madripoor International Airport. Let us talk, Mr. Corrigan, but not out in the open. Sure thing, Tiger. But I'm not going to betray Patch's trust. Like, even Tiger here looks like a character from G.I. Joe. Like that outfit, like, kind of feels like a G.I. Joe-ish sort of thing. And according to I don't want you to, I owed the prince a favor, which is why I was his go-between, but I'm sure he's up to something. And according to the lowdown grapevine, General Coy is up to something as well. Have you seen any unusual activity here at the airport? Some Russian bigwigs flew in last week, only passengers on the whole airliner. Is that suspicious enough? Malheur-san, the covert listening devices in the jungle are picking up chatter in Cantonese and Yunanese. Using PRC radio protocols could be Chinese mercenaries. That sounds right. There's a recruitment center in Nansan that's offering 1,000 yuan a day for experienced fighters. The only ones in Madripoor with that sort of disposable income are the Prince and General Coy. The Prince prefers local talent, so that leaves Coy. It's Daikumo Oyabun calling from Osaka. I hope all is going well. You don't need me to send in my fixes, do you? This didn't seem that long a distance from the air. Should have jumped closer to the site. And he's doing all of this in like a tuxedo. God damn. Hey, smells something. Something out there moving real quiet. You can hide from sight and make almost no noise, but you can't stop emitting pheromones. So why don't you drop down and talk to me face to face? Go to hell. I'm assuming that doesn't mean hello, how are you? I've got no beef with anybody, I'm just looking. Ah, darling, that's no way to win friends and influence people. I don't suppose you're open to establishing a meaningful dialogue. You're like all the rest of them, just looking for the big cash reward. I ain't no bounty hunter. Liar. Look, I don't want to hurt you. Wham. I don't burn myself with those kind of restrictions. And then pops his claws. If that's the way you want it, then gloves are officially off. What the? Oh, there's an invisible guy. I didn't ask for your help, Gimmel. Don't be too proud, Beth. We are family, duh. I get it now. You're both mutants or enhancements. We are both, and we have highly honed specialized skills as well. So he's like a speedster? Speedster who can go invisible, and she's like like the tank role of the group. So collecting the reward is going to be more than difficult than you'd expect. This is the first I've heard of the quote-unquote reward. And the last thing I would do is turn in a fellow mutant for money. Keep him occupied, Beth, while I maneuver into position. Why would he say that? Or just maneuver? Where did he go? He just faded out into a moving blur. Shunk. Oh, right in the wrist. Listen, I'm on your side. You just did exactly what I wanted you to. Gimel, get him now while his claws are trapped. Oh, with pleasure, my little rabbit. And now the coup de grace. What'd she do to him? Knock him out. He's done for. Not even a mutant could absorb that much damage and survive. Oh, you don't know Logan. Let's go home, darling. Come on, healing factor, do your thing. She left a clear blood trail. I hope Archie appreciates what I'm doing for him. To be continued. With issue 2. Yeah, so Patch's new old adventure. I'm guessing because it's set in the past. It's pretty cool. I as I said before, this is Larry Hama, the G.I. Joe guy, and I do get the feeling of G.I. Joe reading this. Like, it's set in like a war-torn jungle, kind of Vietnam sort of jungle. You got mercenaries who are basically, you know, Cobra fighting Logan, and he's doing, you know, his best secret agent impersonation. Yeah, that's a pretty cool issue. I quite enjoyed it. I don't know whether I'll keep reading it. I'm not too sure. I don't know whether it's like a mini series or an ongoing or something, but it was pretty cool. It's cool seeing Patch again. It took me a while to get to realize that, like, when we get Patch, we also get him talking kind of like, you know, 1940s 50s bartender, so he says stuff like Jake and all that, which means okay, that sort of stuff. So it took me a while to get through to that, but I like that was included in here. I like that it wasn't just modern dialogue with Patch. Hammer went a little bit further and added that little extra caveat that he had during the 80s and 90s, which was kind of cool. Yeah, it was an alright issue. Again, probably not something I'd pick up on a regular basis. Maybe do it every now and then once a couple of issues come out. But yeah, it was alright. Pretty cool.